A highlight was coming up, a last woman standing match, Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez. We love Rhea Ripley. Raquel Gonzalez is a big beast. We've been waiting for this, the battle of the big girls, right? And they started hot, and they're fighting, and I was like, imagine if they had put the time and money into these two that they put into bad kung fu movies and Shitzy Blackheart's Tank. Because these girls are impressive, and they can go, and they were doing some good stuff, and they hit hard, and they kept the pace up, and they had a fight, and there was some trash talking going on. And then Rhea Ripley goes under the ring and gets a kendo stick, and I'm like, shit, well, maybe they won't monkey this up too bad. And they did a spot where Ripley ran up the steps and did a drop kick off the steps while they were on the floor toward Gonzalez, but Gonzalez swiped and hit her with a chair, and she landed flat of her back on the floor. Just a flat back bump off the steps. That was an oof. But then they're fighting on the floor, and they get the kendo stick again. But even the weapons, they're not doing thumbtacks. They're not, being ridiculous with throwing 18 tables in the ring and everything. So, okay, and they're doing it well. And then Gonzalez gets handcuffs out from. Why are there handcuffs under the ring? Is in addition to a Home Depot, is there a local precinct police station under the ring that we should be aware of? Why were the handcuffs under the ring?
Well, you never know when you're going to have to detain someone.
Well,
maybe a fan jumps over the rail, hops the plexiglass, and you have to stop them.
I can see carrying a handcuff key on your key ring. Now, that's a reasonable thing to do, but I don't know why there'd be handcuffs under the ring. Anyway, Rhea Ripley gets them away and handcuffs Gonzalez to the cage. And I'm like, well, that's kind of backwards, handcuffing the heel, but then I see good spot. Raquel Gonzalez rips the fucking fence out and beats on Rhea Ripley with the handcuffs. Then Rhea Ripley tries to use the bell hammer, but gets her head run into the bell and, of course, rings the bell with the hammer. And I'm watching this now because Rhea Ripley is in it. But I'm thinking they had to make this a garbage indie match, too, with the girls, with the sticks and the chairs and the handcuffs and the bell hammers. And right as I said that to myself and wrote that, they're out on the floor, and Gonzalez backdrops Rhea Ripley onto the announce desk, and the bump was worse than Shawn Michaels' career-ending injury on the casket at the Royal Rumble that year, or Rick Rude's bump in the Tokyo Dome that he collected the fucking Lloyd's of London insurance policy on. And for a TV match with the girls and your biggest girl star that you just don't know you have, and they're doing shit like that where she wasn't close enough to the desk because she was looking at where, how can I phrase this? She was looking at where she would have gone if she'd have shot her in and she was coming at a fucking high rate of speed. But instead, she had just picked her up. So when she backdropped her, she didn't go very far, and her fucking spine hit the edge of the table. And I said, you know what? I'm fucking done. I start fast forwarding. I'm saying if they're going to paralyze my favorite girl wrestler, apparently that was just a break spot. I started fast forwarding. They go to the break on that one. And when they come back, they're in the goddamn back. They're fighting in the fucking bowels of the building. Ripley puts Gonzalez on a table and comes off a 12-foot wall onto her and puts her through a table. That wasn't the finish. That wasn't the finish. I just fucking fast forwarded the whole thing from there. What'd I miss? Did anybody get killed?
Dakota Kai got stuffed into a locker.
Where the fuck was she involved in this?
Well, Raquel Gonzalez has been her friend / bodyguard.
But she wasn't out there at the shift. She ran out.
Well, they was in the back. It's easier to get to the action when it's in the back. She ran out. Rhea Ripley stuffed her into the bottom locker and then put something in front of it so she couldn't get out.
Anyway, so they made me now dislike a Rhea Ripley match because it was way too dangerous and will mean nothing as nobody will remember it next week. This was the first one-on-one confrontation between these two girls, and they gave them a last woman standing. Was it not? Have we seen a one-on-one?
I think we have seen them one-on-one before. It's sad that I can't remember for sure, but I think we have.
I thought it was a tag. I don't know. But anyway.
I was about to say, why would they go right from a tag to last woman standing? But I forgot this is wrestling in 2021.
Yeah. But anyway, after it just... remember when fighting in the back of the arena was such an unheard of thing that it got over? Now I zip through it because that's every fucking match. I only like the matches now where the people involved in it are actually talented enough to do it in the ring and make it good. And I think these girls are, but they wouldn't let them.